Baby Keem is officially back. He's going to be dropping his first album in 5 years on Friday, February 20th. We're going to take you guys through what we know so far and what we're speculating about this album. And make sure to smash that subscribe button because we're going to be keeping you guys updated with this entire rollout. Of course, including our first live album reaction, our first thoughts, review, etc. Stay tuned for all of that. But let's get into this, bro. Casino by Baby Keem, his second studio album. How do you feel, bro? Because as a hip-hop fan, we're feasting.
Oh, my goodness, bro. 2026 was slated to be a huge year, especially when Lou and I were having our conversations at the end of 2025. We said, listen, there's so many people that could come out and pop their head out. But we say that every year. But it feels
Pause
like
on
finally,
that, by the way.
but it feels like finally this year, bro, the mystical albums are just popping out left, right, and center. Start off the year with Don't Be Dumb. That was a huge weight. Start off with The Fall Off. Huge weight. Now we're getting a Baby Keem album 2 weeks later. Lou, what the fuck is going on? What is happening, bro?
What the fuck is in the water right now? It's such an exciting time. We got also an official track list for Baby Keem.
Sick.
12 songs. We have a Kendrick Lamar feature on the song Good Flirts, and we actually got to hear the snippet because Keem dropped a 9-minute documentary, Boom Man Episode 1, meaning that there's probably going to be more episodes to follow as we get into the release of the album. What did you make out of the snippet? Because I fucking love it, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It was explosive, especially like there was like these choir backgrounds and the production. You're getting these thumping 808s. It feels like a Family Ties type of record where I feel like if it does well, right? You never know what a snippet. Maybe people aren't feeling the final version on the track list. I think that's bullshit. I think this is gonna be a banger off of the album. Wait till they do their world tour together, bro. If they decide to make that play again, that's gonna go fucking ridiculous in the live crowds. And then after that, Kendrick's vocals were raw. So you didn't get to hear the final mastered version of his portion, but I think once that full verse is showcased, I'm expecting flow switches. I'm expecting the same aggressive energy that we got on something like Family Ties. And then K-Dot within the actual documentary spoke about Baby Keem being his cousin and spoke about the pressures of being a rapper. And he's like, we're not called the Hillbillies for nothing. So I feel like maybe that's still in play, Lou. Do you think that collaboration album might be in play considering that he said, hey, bro, we're still a group here.
I think
we could still do this.
I think that's definitely something that's going to happen down the line. I think they want to focus on their solo albums for now, but I want to talk about the Kendrick performance because it did sound explosive. What the fuck? Powered up. Who gonna stop me? Almost a nursery type of flow, but with his own twist to it. I think that that's going to be an absolute banger. Even listening to the production off that song, I think that it's a good direction. I think that what's also interesting about this album, I made a tweet about this. I feel like this could be Baby Keem's Good Kid, Mad City.
Slow down, bro. I quote retweeted you. I said,
and listen,
slow down, bro.
I'm not saying the quality of Good Kid, Mad City. I'm talking about the type of album we're going to be getting, right? Because we saw with that documentary, you had like Keem's family talking, right? His mom, his aunt, etc., talking about like growing up in Long Beach, the hood, what they had to go through. It seems like Keem's going to focus on his origin story like Kendrick did on Good Kid, Mad City. It's going to be a very personal album for sure because going back to Scapegoats, Keem did say, I'll tell you the full story 2 years later. And in that song too, he's like, my life wasn't fortunate. Like, I think he's really going to, dive deep into even some messages that we saw off of Scars, right? Because that song was also talking about like, his mother going to rehab when he was 6 and him missing her and like all the trials and tribulations that he had to go through. So not only do you have a thematic resemblance, 12 songs, just like Good Kid, Mad City was 12 songs. Both album covers have a kid at the front of the cover. I'm just saying, I think that we could be
executive produced by Dr. Dre. No, I'm busting your balls. I get the concept.
And also,
no, I understand
the big West Coast influence, right? Because you have Kendrick Lamar, who's featured on the album, and you have Too Short, another LA artist who's also featured on this album, bringing in an OG. I'm just saying, to me, The Melodic Blue was one of the best debut albums that we got this decade, bar none. Looking at like how unpredictable it was, how versatile his flows were, great melodic songs, great trap songs, great writing as well. I think this has the makings to be one of the best albums of this year, bro.
I think so as well. I feel like, especially after The Melodic Blue, like you said, the unpredictability factor that we spoke about in our review back in 2021 and all the content that we've done on that album, you get so much range from Keem. And I think you're going to get that same type of range, but I think there's going to be a topical focus to this album. especially seeing the 12 tracks. At first, I thought it was 11, but going into this track list, like you said, you could probably experience his most probably personal pen that he's ever brought to the table, because like you said, whether it's a Scars verse or whether, it's little hints and drops through different features that he's done, even for K-Dot, it feels like he really wants to push himself forward when it comes to his actual writing. Because on the Melodic Blue, yes, like there was great messaging on it, but at the same time, like you got a lot of loose and fun tracks too. You got him being playful, and I expect maybe a bit of that on this new album too. But like I said, I feel like he's really going to focus in. Another huge update. Bro, he's going on a world tour. Just got announced. The Casino tour is going to be starting in the month of April, and it's going to be going into, I believe, the month of September. Yeah, April 15th to September 18th, Baby Keem Casino Tour. That's massive, bro. He's going to probably have full of different explosive sounds, bro, to be able to tour with this shit.
Oh,
it's going to be absolutely crazy.
Bro. I mean, like, this is a comeback that people have been waiting for, and it's only right that he goes all out with this album experience.
Yeah,
and that's something else I want to say is that the pressure's on, bro. Like, Keem was one of the rising stars, one of the guys that we said could be the future of this next generation for hip-hop, and he decided to take this many years off. We are going to be expecting something fucking phenomenal and something that's just zany, animated, just very original in sound, I feel like is what you always have to expect with Keem. And by the way, just to correct myself, the song I was talking about him missing his mom because she went to rehab when he was 6, that was on Issues.
Okay.
That was on the song Issues.
But regardless, though, like you said, though, that there's a lot of pressure on Keem to perform, and I think that he's someone that is going to provide you with an album experience that you didn't even know you needed, to be honest. Like, we could try to make all the predictions we can on this video, maybe the snippet, you could go into this direction. Bro, I think we have to throw that all out the window, and this live album reaction on the 20th, is going to be like nothing we've ever heard from him before. So with that being said, going into this album experience, what are some key predictions you have for the track list, bro? What do you think we're going to see? What do you think we're finally going to get here?
Well, yeah, it's like I said, I think you're going to get his most personal album yet. That being said, like, don't expect Baby Keem to go full Kendrick Lamar to Pimp a Butterfly, right? Like, he's not going to go into that league of lyricism. And he also says that on the track title, right? Track number 6 is literally titled, I Am Not a Lyricist. So don't expect too much of that, but I think that you're going to get wild samples. Like, I love the way that he ended up taking the drums from Love Lockdown, from 808s and Heartbreak, and brought that onto the Melodic Blue. I hope to see more of those, like, interpolations, him showing love to old sounds that inspired him. But I think you are going to get that origin story from Keem. I think you're going to get the best rapping of his career to date. And some melodic songs too, right? What's cool too is that, I don't know if you saw this, but we have a part 2 to Highway 95.
Oh, super
which
down,
is fucking
bro.
exciting.
Super down, bro.
But yeah, I think even with a song title like Sex Appeal, that's probably going to be a fun, looser type of maybe hit attempt. We'll see what ends up happening. But those are really my predictions, bro. I think he's going to drop his best album yet, though. I'll say that. What about you?
I think it's going to be on that level for sure, especially seeing how many tracks we have here and all of the anticipation that's gone on over the years. I don't think he's someone that's going to crack under the pressure. Kendrick is probably going to be leaning into this album as well. And I also think that this is going to be the first official release where, you could say this for Die For My Bitch, but everyone always put Baby Keem next to Kendrick. I think this is going to be the first studio album experience and the first piece of art from Keem where you see him completely separate, bro. He is his own man now. He's his own artist. This is his moment to shine. And I think the fact that you only maybe see one K-Dot feature on here and now the tour is separate from anything Kendrick-wise, bro, that means a lot to him. So I think he's going to come into his own as an artist in 2026 with this album.
I think that's a good prediction. Something I also want to point out is that Kendrick was teasing Keem's Casino album throughout the GNX tour, because if you look at like some of the jackets he was wearing, some of the set design, like it was being previewed beforehand, so that's a pretty cool fact. Beyond that, what do you make of the title Casino? Because my first thought was like, okay, maybe like he had to take some kind of gamble in life to become an artist, but then I thought more about it. I'm like, yo, like he spent some time, I believe, growing up in Nevada. So is there a Vegas connection to the casino theme? I don't know.
or maybe like the vices that come with being in that type of casino, right? And like kind of trying to control yourself and obviously not falling into the pitfalls that a casino comes with, whether it's liquor, gambling, lust, like you name it, a casino offers it at the end of the day. So I think there's so many different meanings that could go on with it. And I like the branding of the album so far too, because on the album cover, it's like this blown up picture of like Baby Keem's baby picture. And I think like playing into that, it's going to give you, like, it sort of confirms our suspicions, not only based off of previous lyrics, but with this now, it's going to be an origin story for Keem. He's going to let you know where he's come from, and he's going to give you the full context with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Baby Keem, new album, February 20th, guys. You better fucking be here for the Casino Live album reaction. We're going to pin it in our comments section. We're going to take you guys directly to our Patreon page, and you guys can subscribe there. And by the way, we just did a live album reaction to the Fall Off, so...
What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen.
We're in it to win it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.